Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Joe, and welcome back to the Inside Our Phillies podcast. About 5 p.m. here on Friday, October 3rd, Red October Eve, as I'm going to call it. And we are here to preview the National League Division Series between the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here to discuss all of it, we have SJ. How's it going, Jeremy?
It's going well. How are you?
Pretty well. Glad to have you back, and we have metssuck back for another episode.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Good. Ready for Red October.
Yeah, so I can't wait for this to get started. I'll be at the game tomorrow. Super glad to be back for Citizens Bank Park games in October. You can never take it for granted. But let's get into the series. We have a good one.
I was going to say, Joe, I'm jealous of you being at the game. I'll be watching the game on my phone while at a college football game tomorrow.
I would have skipped the college football game, honestly. I remember when I was in college in 22 and I was going to the football games as a student. I was so unbelievably conflicted on what to do, but I ended up watching the playoff games, even if it meant that I had to get to the LA Coliseum late. I put way more priority on the Phillies than going to those games.
I'll watch on my phone. That's fine. I have a good signal there. I'll be able to watch the game. It's fine.
There you go.
I spent too much money on the tickets to skip a game.
There you go. There's a lot that we know about this upcoming series. Like Christopher Sanchez has been announced as the game one starter for the Phillies. This game one starter for the Dodgers is going to be Shohei Ohtani. But we don't know a lot behind that. We don't know who the two starters is going to be for either team. We don't know exactly what the bullpen plan is going to look like. So I think what's a good idea to do with this episode is to kind of go position by position and just see what we think and who has the advantage on each side. Sound good to you guys?
And I will give you the answer what MLB has ruled. There's an article for Dodgers Phillies position by position breakdown, so I'll give you what they say.
Is there? Okay. I did not know that. All right. Well,
how deep in this position are we going? Are we looking at the backup catcher and stuff like that? Or are we just kind of looking at overall the guys that are really going to make a difference? Like, do we need to figure out who the 26 man on the roster is first? Is my point.
No, we're gonna just do the starting. Yeah. Each of the starting pitchers, like SP1 to SP3, generic bullpen. Your 9 starting position players, including your DH. And then like the bench and that kind of stuff too. But yeah, to get started with it, let's talk about the first baseman. We have Bryce Harper for the Phillies. Had a good, not great Bryce Harper year this year. Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers. This is a good one. Who do you think's better?
So I mean, I'm just looking at their numbers, and like I didn't even realize last year Freeman's kind of like the decline has started. He's not hitting over close to 300 anymore. I mean, 295 this year, but yeah, only OPS is of 854 and 869, not 900. He was hitting 325 and 331 with the Dodgers in this first 2 years, and so I mean, based by B WAR, their WARs are basically been the same the past 2 years. So I don't know. I would give like Harper has always just been like a guy in the playoffs. Well, I don't think Freeman's like he had that walk-off home run, grand slam, whatever it's, but like he's never been a standout in the postseason. And so
Freddie Freeman's never been a standout in the postseason. What about the World Series last year?
Yeah, but I'm talking about but still, even with that, he hit 250 with a 291 on base percentage. So
World Series MVP.
Home runs. I know he picked up in the World Series, but before that, he wasn't doing much.
Okay.
I'm not saying he hasn't had big moments, but Harper's playoff numbers with the Phillies are 325 batting average, 444 on base percentage, 709 slugging. Freeman's with the Dodgers is 250, 337, 500. So, like compared to Harper is like my god, and Freeman's good.
Yeah. So who are you giving the edge to here?
I don't know. It all depends like what Harper's approach, because we've seen him like pull off the ball a lot this year, and his swings kind of feel like been out of whack. But I'm gonna give it to Harper.
All right. Well, I think you'll probably agree with that, metssuck. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at both their years. I'm going back even to last year. But if I look at this year, last year, I think they were pretty much even. They played 2 games difference. You know, OPS of OPS plus of 146 to 140, 141. So not big different. Edge to Harper there. Again, last year doesn't really correlate to this year, but it's kind of a good sample size of guys who are in their 30s and starting to decline. As expected, and when you get to that age. But I look at this year, Harper's played 15 less games. He's hit, 3 more home runs. He's got 30 less hits, but that's probably where that comes in. And I think the power is going to be there more for Harper than it will be for Freeman. Freeman does have a better OPS plus, but again, 15 more games. The B WAR is only 0.3 off, nothing significant. I don't know. I mean, I think I honestly, I'm not going to give it to either. I think it's a push. Frankly, these are 2 of the best first basemen in the game. They're both Hall of Famers. They're both at their peak or starting to decline, so still close to their peak. I think we're right even, to be honest with you.
I'm with you. I'm at a push on this one. Put a gun to my head, I probably say Freddie Freeman by a hair, mostly because of the decline in Harper's defense at first base this year. He's now kind of just an average defensive first baseman, not the really good one that he was last year. But this is probably not going to be the matchup where you're going to see the biggest difference between the 2 teams. I
mean, I don't generally follow all the defensive statistics because I don't think of one season as a good enough sample size, frankly. But I can tell you, I never feel like a ball hit to the right side is not going to be gobbled up by Harper.
Yeah.
So the problem is
anecdotally, I have not seen the decline in the defense. I'm sure the statistics are out there, but I haven't seen it, with my own, with the eye test.
Yeah, no, the problem with Harper's defense, at least this year, has been his decision making when he gets the ball.
Yeah, that's
the
fair.
problem. So, yeah, but yes, MLB gave the slight advantage to first base to the Dodgers just because he had a better little finish to end the year. But yeah, they basically agreed it's a push.
Okay, there you go. Next up, we have the catching position. JT Realmuto is going to be catching for the Phillies. And for the Dodgers, we don't really know yet. It could be Will Smith, in which case I think you'd have to give the edge to the Dodgers, right? Or we could have like a Ben Rortvedt, Dalton Rushing, Chucky Robinson, who knows? But I think that's pretty easy. If you have Will Smith, the Dodgers are better. If you don't have Will Smith on the Dodgers, then JT's better than whatever the Dodgers will do.
Yeah, that's pretty much
no argument.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's an easy one. Very interested still on what JT's postseason is going to look like. He had such an up and down year where he was really slow in the first half. He kind of picked it up, for a few months there, middle endish of the season. Then a not great September, but we'll see what happens.
I think a week off is gonna be good for him though. Just getting the time away and getting his body healed a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Second base. So for second base for the Phillies, we expect to see Bryson Stott back at second now that Trey Turner is going to be sliding back in at shortstop. And then second base for the Dodgers. Again, this is one we don't really know. So what did they actually have on the MLB article for second base? Was it Tommy Edman, or did they list somebody else there, SJ?
Where is it? Second base, they have, that might be a shared job for Los Angeles, Miggy Rojas, Tommy Edman.
Sure.
Yeah, so but they're giving it the advantage to the Phillies.
Yeah, I think this is clearly the way he's played the last 2 months of the season.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Bryson Stott's improvements, the way that he takes at bats has always been great, but the improvements that he's made to, his swing decisions and the changes he's made to his, stance at the plate, I think it's real. And I think that Bryson Stott is a much better player than he gets credit for, and his 2.1 baseball reference WAR doesn't really adequately reflect the year that he had.
It's amazing that it's that high.
I was surprised it was that high, to be honest with you, considering how rough his start was.
A lot of that probably came from August and September, I imagine, when he really turned on the Jets.
And then if we're going to talk about defense with the first baseman, we got to talk about defense with the second baseman. I think a lot of his WAR probably comes from that too, or at least a decent amount.
Absolutely. I mean, he should be a Gold Glove finalist, I would expect, at the bare minimum at second base. And the other thing that was impressive with Bryson Stott is when Trey Turner was down and he had to, play a lot of shortstop, he looked like a pretty good shortstop, which, he was not necessarily in 22. But now, 3 years later, I think he's a solid shortstop, which is kind of crazy to see.
Yeah, I mean, he was a young player, came up, so it's not surprising that he's improved back to his original position. He was always rated as a good shortstop in the minors.
And the interesting thing going back into the 22 World Series is there were 2 rookie shortstops that were starting for both teams, which was interesting. But speaking of the shortstop position, this is probably the most heavyweight fight of everything above these teams. So for the Phillies, Trey Turner, he was probably going to be finishing second in the MVP race before he got hurt. He'll probably still get some down ballot votes in the MVP race. And then for the Dodgers, Mookie Betts, who kind of had the beginning and middle of his season marred by some effects of him getting sick and losing like 30 pounds or something crazy like that. But he still played a very good defensive shortstop throughout and end the year with an above average OPS plus, thanks to him getting absolutely scorching hot in the back quarter of the season. Who do you have here?
Oh, Mookie Betts easily. Like, he was second, like last 2 months of the year, he was basically back to his old self, and so that's scary as hell.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I think the way he ended the season is there, but I just Trey just gets so ignored or downplayed, and I don't know, man. He's just so steady, and as long as he can run, I think we're on another push, in my opinion, to be honest with you.
Well, I want to see if Turner is going to chase again in the playoffs. They could say all they want, all the changes he made in the regular season, but if he again just chases in the playoffs in the big spots, then it'll easily be Betts, because Betts doesn't do that.
Yeah, I think that I'm with you, and I think that Mookie Betts is the answer here. I think just like you should believe in the last 2 months of Bryson Stott because there were real changes, I think you can also believe in Mookie Betts being better than Trey Turner because, he had a reason that he was underperforming in the first half of the year. And now all of a sudden it's back to the Mookie Betts that we all know and dread. But Trey Turner is probably not going to be the reason that the Phillies lose this series, although it could be frustrating if he's kind of chasing all over the place. One thing about his speed, which I think is a really good point that you brought up, is Trey Turner in the scrimmage that I attended, a couple nights ago at Citizens Bank Park. He was not running that hard. It did not look like Trey Turner was trying his hardest. I don't know if that was because he is still hurting in some way, and he's back earlier than he maybe should be, or maybe it's because it was a scrimmage and he didn't care. But something to be mindful for, because if he can't, make, who cares about the stolen bases, but if he can't go first to third on a single, we're going to have problems.
Agreed. I like how you just dropped in, to SJ and I that, I was at the scrimmage and, as work, thousands of miles away and can't go.
Yeah. Selfish.
Scrimmage, super cool. I'm sure we have some people listening to this that were at the scrimmage. What a cool baseball experience. I don't want to make y'all jealous. I'm going to leave it at that. If you know, you know.
I just like they try to make a big story of how they had more attendance than a day game in a playoff ticket price and cost. Like comparing, it was just like the most apples to oranges situation.
Well, it was weird. I was watching clips from the other teams that were doing it, the Mariners and the Brewers specifically, and like the stadium's empty. It's just like, this is weird. Like, why don't they have fans in there? It's like, oh, we're the only fans that are crazy enough to do this.
They also did it during the day, so it's a lot tougher to get fans out on like a work day. Even though the Mariners bring Ichiro back to play right field in their scrimmage, unbelievably cool.
I'm telling you put this at 1:00, we still have sold 25,000 seats.
Yeah,
I don't know about 25.
I know, but also like the metro area size also a big difference to like where Cleveland. It's just
It's just funny.
Oh, yeah.
You're totally right.
No, but like,
third,
no, but it's just funny. They're like, oh, mid-market size versus large market size. They're doing bad. It's just, this isn't new.
Yeah, no, I know.
So at third base for the Dodgers, you have Max Muncy, who is somehow 34 years old. I did not think he was that old, but he is. And then third base for the Phillies, you have Alec Boehm. Everyone knows how I feel about Alec Boehm. I think this is an easy Max Muncy win. What about you guys?
It's easy, Max Muncy. I love Boehm. I actually love Boehm. I think he's a good dude. I think he just has trouble with his emotions, but it's easily Muncy. Even although I love how Boehm ended the year.
Yeah, I would go Muncy because I expect Boehm to just first pitch out a bunch of million times.
Yeah, just have nobody on first base when Boehm's at batting. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that
Bryce, make sure you get the second?
Do you guys think that Alec Boehm is going to get benched in this series like he got benched against the Mets last year?
I mean, he was far from the problem. I don't know. Like, they just chose him because he was the easiest one to bench.
He was also swinging first pitch, and he was having the biggest issues in that series.
Oh,
I don't think so. I think that
I don't think so. It was just the easiest one to pinpoint on. Like, Turner was striking out like crazy, and it's just
I mean, we want to pick on Bowman and everything, but he still had he still have over 100 OPS plus. He had 741 overall OPS.
Great
for
a third baseman.
It's not what
102 OPS plus. Oh boy,
it's not what I want from my 4-hole hitter. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's as bad as we all make him out to be. Just because I think he makes it worse on himself by the way he reacts sometimes.
That definitely makes it worse. But this guy's a 6'5" third baseman.
He's never going to get the power. The power's just never going to come. They told us that when we drafted him. We were all like, no, he's going to get the power. He's 6'5". Of course he's going to hit the ball. And the baseball people said he's not going to get the power. He's going to hit doubles, and that's the reality.
Yeah, fine. Doubles is fine, but he wasn't even doing that.
He had 31 of them. Oh, no, he had 18.
He hit 18.
I was looking at the wrong line. Look at the wrong line. Sorry.
Yeah, he only slugged 409 this year. That's just... It's big.
I know. I'm not trying to put him even in Muncy's category. I'm just pointing out he is not going to be. He's not. To Joe's point, he was not last year's problem, and I don't think he's going to be. I don't know. As long as he doesn't ground double plays, that's all I really care about. Basically, I'm treating him the way I treated Chooch in 2008. Just don't ground into a double play.
Fair.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, this is an easy Muncy win. Now we'll go to right field. Where for the Phillies, it's going to be, I think that's what we're all going to feel, but it's going to be some combination of Castellanos and Kepler, and for the Dodgers, it's going to be Teoscar Hernandez. Already got your opinion there,
wait, before I go on, the Dodgers, I mean, MLB gave Boehm the advantage because we'll have Sanchez and Luzardo pitching, and Muncy's numbers against Southpaw the last couple of years have been abysmal. So, slugging only 379. So,
his career OPS against lefties is 783. But let me see Let me see this year. Let me see what this year's supposed to look like. This year, his OPS is 564 against lefties. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm still going Max Muncy.
I'm still going Muncy. Going Muncy. Listen, like I said, I'm still going Muncy.
So does nobody want to take the chance to talk about Nick Castellanos?
If Nick Castellanos gets hot, he can carry us for the entire month. But I don't see that happening.
0% chance of that happening.
No, it's greater than 0. It's just not very high. It's probably not probably less than 5, but it can happen.
For a month? Nick Castellanos, what is his best month this year?
He can carry us through a series. How about that?
I will say there is a chance of that. He can carry you for a single series. But I'd rather see Kepler. I want to have Kepler in there every day and have Castellanos be on the bench to pinch hit against a lefty.
In June, Castellanos hit 276, 324, 531 for OPS of 854. So that in May he wasn't terrible. He had OPS of 731. So it could happen.
It can, but like to put your point, Joe, that's why I asked the question about we've talked about the 26 man, because if if I've got Casty pinch hitting in the 7th inning for Kepler, I need to know who's going to go play defense for him.
But that's why that's why I went. That's why I would just play Kepler. Like you can start. I would never take anyone out for Castellanos, unless.
But again, so Rojas is not an option this year, this series at least because he's hurt.
Yeah,
but he's the perfect person, right? So if Castellanos, if Kepler starts against a righty, and then they bring in a lefty in the 7th inning, and you put Castellanos in there to battle him, and then you move in, and you put somebody like Rojas in. Now, if you're telling me you're putting Weston Wilson in, or
God,
who else do we have?
Otto
Kemp. Yeah, then no, I'm not liking that plan. But if you can put Rojas in and get a Castellanos at bat in the 7th inning against a lefty, yeah, I like that. But otherwise, I'm with you, SJ. It's like I don't want Castellanos taking out Kepler unless if we're already up by like 6, then that's fine. He can play the outfield all he wants.
Or if you're already losing, then the defense doesn't matter as much if you're already losing because you got to fight back.
That's it.
Yeah, but if it's like a 1-run game and it's just like a man on second with like 1 out, I'm not pinch hitting.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm with you there.
Unless I have Rojas available to come in, which I don't think I'm going to this series, and that's what we're talking about. Unless I have Rojas able to come in and bat and field. I mean,
I was surprised that the Phillies shut down Justin Crawford's season. I know he got, probably a month ago at this point, he got the concussion and they shut down his season from there.
I think the concussions what did it.
But it's at this point, with it having been a month, obviously you never know that kind of injury. But Justin Crawford could have.
I've had 20 plus concussions, Joe. A month is not enough time sometimes.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's individual, case by case.
I had one about 15 years ago that it was I couldn't do any kind of physical activity and I was at the gym every day at that point. I couldn't do any kind of physical activity for about 8 to 10 weeks.
That's pretty rough. How many of yours have been like that versus the, football players probably doing what they shouldn't do and are back the next week?
A lot of them, most of them were when I was younger, so I bounced back faster. But the last one I had, it was probably about a week until I could feel comfortable even just doing a walk around my neighborhood.
Yeah. No, it's super scary and it's a case by case basis. But Justin Crawford also could have filled that Johan Rojas role of being a pinch running defensive replacement if you have to pinch hit late in the game. So it's a shame that both of them are unable to do it.
Yeah.
But now to center field. Phillies are going to be running Harrison Bader out there, and the Dodgers are probably going to be running Andy Pages out there. And SJ, I'll start with you. And then who did the MLB article have for right field? The Dodgers, right?
We'll do the Dodgers. Oh yeah.
So center field, where are you at on the Pages Bader combination?
I like Pages more. He just seems exciting, and then I just want to be surprised if Bader returns back to Earth.
What about you, metssuck?
So I don't know. I'll be honest. This is where I don't know enough about Pages. He's still young, and I haven't seen him enough. But Bader is the type of guy that just seems like he's going to find a way to win. And I know his defense is stellar. He's hit 824 OPS for us in 50 games. I don't know. I don't know enough about Pages to answer, but I'd probably go based off just looking at the stat line for the full season. I'd probably go Pages, but the way Bader's played now granted he cooled the last week or two, but the way he played, for 6 weeks, I think he's got a real chance to be a star in the series. And he's if I'm picking, like, let's say we get to the NLCS or the World Series, and I'm doing some betting on down ballot series MVPs, he's going to be one of the guys I'm putting money on because he just seems like a guy who can carry you for a series.
I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. I am going with Pages here. I didn't realize that he hit 27 home runs, which for like a good defensive center fielder kind of nuts. Makes me a little bit jealous because the Phillies only had 2 guys that even hit 20 home runs this year. But Harrison Bader, to your point, he's not going to be the problem. Like, he's going to do his job. At the very least, we know he's going to play a really good center field defense. He's probably going to strike out a few times, but he'll get his share of hits too. And I'm not worried about Bader at all. But SJ, who did the MLB article have for center field? I'm curious.
It gave it to Bader.
Bader, okay, interesting.
And Bader's quick.
They think Bader's defense is better.
Yeah, and he's quick, so he's gonna run the bases well too.
Yeah, you can definitely count on that. Bader, I'm gonna miss him. I doubt he'll be back next year with that mutual option. But
doesn't mean that, I don't know. If we run the table here and win 11 games this month, there's a chance they make an offer to him.
Yeah, we'll see. So now for left field, the Dodgers are probably going to go with like Kike Hernandez in left field based on what they did in the wild card series, and the Phillies are going to be going with Brandon Marsh. I'm going Marsh.
Marsh.
Yeah, but Kike has been that guy in the playoffs where he just does shit. So, but I give it a Marsh too.
Well, that's the type of person I think Bader is. Right? That's exactly the comp I was looking for Bader, so thank you.
I have long been pounding the drum that of, the former daycare, Marsh Bohmstadt, that Marsh is the best player of them all, and I still believe that. You look at the Baseball Reference page, 1.7 WAR this year for him, but at a point, he had like -1 WAR, and then he was hurt and out for a month. When you look at him over the course of like the second half of this season, he has had about 3 WAR over that time frame. And so it's almost like a 6 WAR pace when you just look at that part of the season alone. And I know that, you can't fully take away the first half of the season, but there's a rational explanation as to why he was struggling, the injury. And he has made major strides as far as, being able to hit lefties. Defensively, he is really good in left field. Brandon Marsh is such an underrated player.
Let me ask it this way: you take away March's April, okay? And let me see, April-March, right? Because that's how Baseball Reference does it. And we're seeing him as an all-star. We're asking, why is he in silver? I don't know enough about the left fielders and the National League overall. We're saying maybe he's a silver slugger candidate. I mean, if you look at his OPS in May is 823, 786, 766, 803, and over 1,000 in September, October. We're looking at a guy that we're wondering, why is he not considered one of the best left fielders in the game if you take away April? And he was hurt. I mean, he had injuries.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel a Brandon Marsh big moment in my bones. I need him to like make his amends for that strikeout in 2022 that everybody remembers. I need Brandon Marsh to have a good postseason. I'm a giant Marsh fan.
That'll bring a question up I have for you later. Just remember
I always love Marsh. I've always wanted him to play against lefties, and just like never give him a chance. And then he's gotten big hits off lefties in the past. It's just so ridiculous.
Now on to the next heavyweight fight, though this is a little bit of an unbalanced fight. We have Kyle Schwarber against Shohei Ohtani.
It's Shohei.
I mean,
go ahead.
He's pitching game 1. Enough said. It's Shohei.
It's Shohei.
Shohei Ohtani, absolutely nuts. It was kind of funny that these 2 guys are the DHs and we're comparing them here. Because last time I was at Dodger Stadium, 3 weeks ago, the Japanese media came up to me for an interview and wanted me to talk about Ohtani versus Schwarber, which was interesting to do. But yeah, you got to go Shohei, even if you're taking away the pitching and you're only looking at him as a DH. I mean, here's a guy with an OPS above 1,000, pretty much leading the league in home runs, even though he's a few behind Schwarber. He's fast.
I mean,
he is.
Take the home runs out of it, Joe. He led the league in runs. He led the league in slugging. He led the league in OPS. He led the league in OPS plus. He led the league in a couple other Baseball Reference categories that they, there are some of their calculations. Runs, batting runs plus and intentional walks. I mean, if you just look at his page, it's all black ink almost. I love Kyle, but it's Shohei.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunately pretty much an open and closed argument, which is crazy for somebody as good as Kyle Schwarber. So overall, would you guys say that lineup-wise, the Dodgers have maybe a little bit of an advantage? It seems like going through this exercise, it seems like for more, options than not, we were going with the Dodgers.
I think when we break, I don't remember what we ended up with their numbers wise, but I think the one thing I'll say is there was a lot of them we weren't sure who the Dodgers are going to play. So I don't know if that's an advantage for them or not an advantage, right? Are they playing matchups? Like I think we talked about left field, right? Is it going to be Kike? Is it going to be somebody else? We talked about second base. We talked about catcher, right? We are more entrenched in all of our positions, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but it allows us more likely to get guys hot and not be over managing the series too much. And that's where I think a lot of October's loss more than anything is over management.
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees got lucky.
Yeah, not a doubt. So let's take a look at the bench real quick. Some of the guys that we're going to have on the Dodgers bench, potentially Miguel Rojas. We're going to have Hye-Sung Kim. We're going to have like Alex Call probably on the bench. We're probably going to be seeing guys like that on the bench. It's it is what it is. No more Chris Taylor for the Dodgers anymore. Those days are gone. No more James Outman. Those days are gone. For the Phillies, we're going to have, Otto Kemp, Edmundo Sosa, Weston Wilson, Rafael Marchand. These are going to be the guys that make up the Phillies bench. Where are you at on the bench comparison?
I like our bench. I like our bench for power.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I like our bench for the power in this. Like Sosa is a beast. Weston Wilson has shown he can hit a pinch hit home run. The bench doesn't really excite me.
Sosa alone wins our bench, I think. Sosa's a starter on most teams that can be in this round. Sosa alone, I think, wins our bench. And if we get to the point where we talked about pinch hitting Kepler and Castellanos, I'd almost rather have Sosa come in to pinch hit for Kepler than Castellanos half the time. And I just point out as I'm looking at Baseball Reference that good old Buddy Kennedy's got a three chances to win a ring this year.
That's incredible. Good work for Buddy.
Is he even on it?
He was on Toronto too.
Like, he was on the Phillies, Dodgers, and Toronto. But like, was he out, right? Oh, he was signed as a free agent on September 1st, so he was not eligible for the postseason. So
still get a ring.
Yep. Yeah, just like random off topic. I find it weird that they don't include people that were part of teams as World Series champions on Baseball Reference. You have to be like on the roster. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Because I'm telling you what,
especially when you're injured.
If we win it, Zach Wheeler is a World Series champion. I'm sorry.
I think that the edge, as far as the benches go, it probably has to go to the Phillies just because Edmundo Sosa is so good. I mean, Edmundo Sosa had 2.3 WAR in 243 at-bats. That's almost half the at-bats that Bohm had and almost double the WAR. It's crazy. I don't need to turn this into another Bohm thing. Everybody knows my opinion on Alec Bohm. Sosa should be starting, though. Hot take. But I think the second best player on the bench is Hye-Sung Kim on the Dodgers. He's really good. He's really good. He's so fast, defensive versatility. He's like maybe the X factor of the Dodgers that nobody's talking about, but I'm a little worried he can make an impact in one way or another in this series. Get to the pitching now. Pitching, it's a little bit nebulous to say who's the one starter, who's the two starter. But we do know who we're going to be starting the first game of this series. For the Phillies, Christopher Sanchez. It's the guy leading the league in WAR. Crazy stuff. And it's going to be Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers, who does seemingly not have a pitch limit anymore.
I'm taking Sanchez.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm taking Sanchez too.
Yep, I think you got to go Sanchez. 8 WAR, crazy. Christopher Sanchez has ascended to be one of the best pitchers in the league. I think there is still a Cy Young argument for Chris Sanchez over Paul Skeens, but that might just be me. And, while you got to respect Ohtani, and he did throw 5 no-hit innings against the Phillies just a few weeks ago, I think Sanchez is a better pitcher.
I wonder how much the Phillies were taking that as more of education than they were anything else.
There.
I don't give him enough credit. I don't give him credit. He had like a low pitch count and crap.
Okay.
They were swinging at everything.
It was a Dodgers game. I wasn't staying up to watch it.
Phillies were also hungover that day.
That is true too. So,
and
it was also in LA. Yeah, exactly. The bullpen is easy. There's no need to discussion on that. The bullpen's terrible.
I mean, so Shohei's last 7 starts, the Dodgers are 1-6. His worst outing in that time, he gave up 5 runs. He gave up 4 runs another time. He gave up a total of 9, 10, 11 runs in 7 games, and they lost 6 of them. So get him out of the game as fast as we can, and get to that bullpen is the goal. We'll get to the bullpen in a minute here, but
the Phillies have to be patient, not swing at shit in the dirt. That's obviously going to be in the dirt.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement here on Sanchez having the edge. One thing that does concern me a little bit about the series, I'm going to get into this discussion point now before we're kind of done with the starting pitchers. I said this at the time, and I think it's even more true now, but I think the Phillies made a mistake by pitching all 3 of their postseason starting pitchers against the Dodgers right before the playoffs.
Well, that goes to exactly what I was just saying. I think the Dodgers made this mistake showing us Shohei.
Yeah, but it wasn't everybody, Like, they saw Glasnow early in the year, and Glasnow was hurt at the time. But, sure, I don't think the Phillies saw Snell in that series, right? Yamamoto we didn't see in that series.
There's enough film on all these pitchers, the way everyone has, like, the data room, the film rooms now. I don't think it matters.
I honestly think I think that's the good point. I think the big mistake there was them letting us see Shohei. Everybody else has been, I believe, Luzardo, Ranger, and Sanchez have all pitched against the Dodgers before, and those players have been around the league enough to they play against them. I think we went into that Shohei game with one guy having 1 at bat against him or something like that going into it.
But it was only one of their pitchers. We showed them everybody.
Yeah, but again, we've all to SJ's point. There's enough video out there, and these guys have been around the league long enough that most of our guys have seen them. Shohei, like I said, I remember that I don't know which Twitter account.
No. Yeah, that was his first start against the Phillies ever. So
yeah, that was the first time. I don't remember. So there's a one of the on X, one of the guys that follow post stats against every pitcher that were every starter, and that game I remember looking at, I was like, there was like one guy who's ever even faced him once, and the video is great, and the video really helps you. But if you haven't seen a guy live once, the video only helps so much. Having seen him now once, it's going to help this team, and especially the fact that it was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point, right? But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Game 2, we don't know who's going to start for either team, so let's kind of just combine the 2 and 3 pitchers that we expect to see. But we expect that, in some order, we're going to be seeing Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. And for the Phillies, we're going to be seeing Jesus Luzardo and Ranger Suarez. So how would you rank those 4 pitchers? That's the way we'll kind of go through this one.
If I get Luzardo at home, he's higher than if I get him on the road, which is why I think he's game 2 starter. Yamamoto is probably the best of the 4 that we just mentioned.
I would have Yamamoto 1 out of those 4. I agree with you about that. What about you, SJ?
Sorry, what's the question? I was just looking things up real quick. Sanchez already has 4 career games against the Dodgers. Their team hasn't changed enough. That matters.
We're past Sanchez now. We're past Sanchez.
Yeah, so wait. I don't. So we're saying who is the better game 2 starter?
We're ranking Yamamoto, Snell, Luzardo, and Suarez. Who do you think is the best of those 4? Metssuck and I both think it's Yamamoto. Yes, Yamamoto.
Yeah.
What about number 2? I think this is interesting.
Luzardo.
I think it's Luzardo.
I do not think it's Luzardo. I am probably going Ranger here.
I could be convinced Ranger.
I could be convinced. I could be convinced any of them, honestly.
Yeah.
I could be convinced of any. It's hard. Snell is hard, right? Because like Snell's only pitched in I think like 11 games this year, 60 innings, but his ERA, it's 2.35, and he's a two-time Cy Young winner. You could make an argument that a healthy Snell is number one out of the list of these four starters. But
yeah, but he's 32 now. Honestly, I would put Snell and Luzardo in the same case. Basically, who has control? If they both have control, they're a wash.
I'm going ranking these four. I'm going Yoshinobu Yamamoto, number 1. Number 2, Ranger Suarez. Number 3, Blake Snell. And number 4, Jesus Luzardo. That's my
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
But yeah, I mean, I think 2 through 4, like you said, get ranked in any order, and it'll be what it will be.
Can I just ask Joe? So I listened to High Hopes earlier, and they were talking about on WIP today that it could be Nola starting Game 3 with Ranger piggybacking him.
I think that's a terrible idea.
I think it is too.
If Aaron Nola starts the game in this series, something's gone wrong.
I agree, but that's kind of where they were all leaning on WIP. And again, those guys only know so much. But I think that's something we need to be prepared for.
I
start preparing myself for it. Let's put it that way.
I would be furious. So the Dodgers, if there is a Game 4 in this series, the Dodgers are probably not going to be able to pitch Shohei Ohtani. In Shohei Ohtani's career, he has never pitched on 4 days rest, which is what he would have to do for Game 5. Your normal 4 days rest, pitch again the 5th day. So the Dodgers will probably end up having to go to Tyler Glasnow for Game 4. Would you rank him below those other 4 guys that we mentioned?
No, Glasnow is really good.
No, he's. I hope we face him.
I think Glasnow in Philadelphia is a lot different than Glasnow in LA. He would be pitching. He'd be pitching Game 4 in LA, which is what worries me about it.
Yeah, but then Sanchez, he'd be facing Sanchez. So I'm not worried about Glasnow at all. I'm sorry. If we get a title, that's why I won Game 3 in the other series. I wanted to have Glasnow in Game 1.
I get that. I mean, it concerns me how this Dodgers rotation is kind of just healthy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you have Ohtani, you have Glasnow, you have Yamamoto, you have Snell. In the bullpen, you have Emmett Sheehan, who had a below 3 ERA. In the bullpen, you're gonna have Clayton Kershaw. In the bullpen, you have Roki Sasaki. We're not at the bullpen yet, but like, it is such a better rotation than I thought it was, honestly.
Are we still? Are you still worried about Kershaw pitching? Like, I'm not worried. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm not worried about Kershaw pitching at all.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Kershaw pitching.
I don't know. I mean, that Kershaw curveball against the Phillies, that they're going to swing over it.
I know, but his strikeout per 9 is 6.7 this year. It's just like he is very much under his ropes, and I could.
Not only that, but he was never good in October. I think he had one. I think he's had one good October, maybe. That was 2020.
His ERA was still 3.36 this year. He's not some scrub.
No. But a lot of his playoff blowups have been they left him so long, and then the bullpen came in and let everyone score. So
I mean, he's got a 4.49 ERA and a 3.81 FIP in the playoffs. I mean,
it's not. I know it's not compared to what he was doing in the regular season, but that's not like.
Awesome. No, I get it, but
Clayton Kershaw, take the situation. How are you feeling? Clayton Kershaw comes in, and the 3 scheduled hitters for the Phillies are Alec Boehm, JT Realmuto, Nick Castellanos.
Oh, yeah, we're fucked. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that should never be the lineup in any.
Well, with a pinch hitting situation.
It could be. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know, he just doesn't scare me.
You could say any starter in that situation, I wouldn't be happy.
Well, throw in Marsh in there instead with the lefty Marsh Kershaw thing.
Marsh is doubling off him.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even behind him to get anything done. So like,
yeah, I don't know. He's a great player, but he's retiring at the end of this year for a reason. His ERA was what you said it was 3.36, FIP of 3.55, WHIP of 1.2. I mean, he's given up 8 hits and 9. Yeah, look, get him in the game.
Who are you guys giving the starting pitching edge to? And I think in this we can't include we will include Glass now and Nola, but we will not include whatever you think of Kershaw and Sasaki.
I'm giving it to us because we got Sanchez twice and Luzardo at home twice.
Well, this is not counting the home thing. This is just the pitchers.
You have to. That's
okay. So you're going Phillies.
Fair enough. Wrong.
Fair enough. You're going Phillies. What about you, SJ?
I don't know, because Luzardo is so inconsistent. I could easily see bad things happening in the playoffs, and their starter and Yamamoto is just so good. I'm giving a slight edge to the Dodgers.
I thought I was going to go into this giving an edge to the Phillies, and I am coming out of this exercise giving the edge to the Dodgers. Small edge, but an edge nonetheless.
I mean, really, it all just depends if our players have finally learned to not panic and swing at everything. This all depends on if their approaches are the same in regular season as they are this year. I give the edge to us, but 3 straight years I have not been proven otherwise, so I cannot.
What did the MLB.com article say?
Oh, I don't think they have a starting rotation. They gave the advantage to the Dodgers.
Okay, that's fair. This is when Wheeler being out hurts. Like, imagine if we had Wheeler slopping in.
Exactly.
Wheeler would change the complexion completely. But let's go to the bullpen now. Let's just shout out some names in the bullpen for the Phillies. First, you're obviously going to be getting a lot of Joan Duran, Tanner Banks, Matt Strahm, Ryan Kirkring will probably be out there. David Robertson will get some big innings. Maybe you'll see Walker Buehler get some time, and hopefully nobody else has to come into the bullpen. For the Dodgers, some big names that we can expect to see. Clayton Kershaw, Roki Sasaki, Blake Trinan. You're probably going to see Tanner Scott at some point. Jack Dreyer, Anthony Banda, Alex Vesia. Those are the guys that you probably would expect to see from the Dodgers. What do you think?
I give the edge to us. I give the edge to us just because their bullpen has consistently blown up in amazing ways. You just gotta make sure if Kirky comes in, it's more than a 1-run lead, and he's a clean inning.
Yeah, I give it to us. I think that give me Tanner Scott. Give me Tanner Scott in the game as much as we possibly can. I'm all about it. The Roki scares me. Is probably the one guy that they've added in the end of the year that really scares me. From their bullpen, but otherwise, let's get the starters out and get to their bullpen.
Yeah, I think you got to give the edge to the Phillies here. Phillies still have a really good bullpen. Maybe not a super deep bullpen, but they can go 4 or 5 deep with almost the best of them, except for the Padres who are gone, so don't have to worry about that. The whole Kershaw thing out of the bullpen scares me. Sasaki out of the bullpen scares me. So we'll see. I am giving the edge to the Phillies, though. One more thing that we'll do as a comparison. Manager. What team is the better coaching staff and manager? Dave Roberts? Rob Thompson?
Dave Roberts.
Yeah, it's Roberts.
I think Rob Thompson's better than Dave Roberts. I think Dave Roberts is a disaster that gets away with having so much talent. Just unbelievable amounts of talent. That's
how I feel about Rob Thompson.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole Castellanos situation wouldn't happen under Dave Roberts, I feel.
You might be convincing me to Roberts being better. I think you're right. Roberts would not have let that happen.
No, and that's how. Yeah.
Yeah, you won me over. Dave Roberts is better.
So I look at the end of the Padres Cubs game yesterday when that pitch was below the zone. That and I don't remember who the batter was, but he almost got thrown out. The manager had to get thrown out.
Yeah.
Bogarts, yes. The manager had to get thrown out there. And Rob would have just sat there and done nothing.
Yep.
And then for the Padres to like start yelling at the umps after the game as they're leaving, like, come on, where was this fire when you could have gotten yourself tossed and really got the team going?
Yep.
That's where Rob loses me. He's done a great job. Don't get me wrong. He's seems to be a great communicator. Some stuff came up this year with Castellanos, which sounds like he's not as good as we think he is. But for the most part, the team loves him. At least seems to love him, and they seem to respond. But it's the in-game, like there's times when managers need to get tossed, and I've never seen Rob do that when he needs to. And
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. I intended this to be like a little pick-me-up after a lot of Dodgers hype and, just give Phillies a win at the end here, but it turned into kind of the opposite of that.
No, I'm good. I'll get you there.
But like I've said this forever. Like Rob Thompson doesn't have the fire I want in a manager when there's the issue with our team has been like energy and emotion when they're struggling.
Yep.
And panicking.
So it sounds like it sounds like we're all kind of in agreement that the Dodgers might have the better roster, which isn't a surprise, right? I mean, the Dodgers came into the year with a win projection of, over 100 games, one of the best teams of all time, but it didn't materialize for them in the regular season. Some of that's injury, some of that's underperformance, lack of cohesion, whatever you want to call it. And because of that, the Phillies have the major advantage of having home field advantage, where 3 out of the potential 5 games will be played in Citizens Bank Park. How much of an impact do you think that this will have on the series?
I don't care what that Dodgers website said that was passed around Discord today. This is the hardest place to play in all of baseball, if not all of sports. Right now is Citizens Bank Park in October. And if we lose one game at Citizens Bank Park this year, I'll be surprised.
What about you, SJ?
I mean, just past history with the Dodgers in the playoffs ever since the 2000s, like we've dominated them. They've folded in the past. We have no idea how this team's going to react, but they had star players back then in like 08, 09, and we still crushed them.
Yeah, I think I want to jump back to your roster comment, Joe. I think they've got a lot of star players, and we do too, but I think we have more depth than they do. And I don't think they have a better roster than us, frankly.
Okay.
I think that when you break it down, right, think about what we gave, right? We gave Betts over Turner. That's to me pretty much a wash, right? I mean, it's not far off. We gave Freeman over Harper by a nose. We gave Shohei over Schwarber by a little bit. I mean, Schwarber may not be as good as Shohei, but he's the second best DH in baseball, right? And I don't think we're that far. I don't think we're that far off.
Okay, that's fair. It is close. It definitely is close. One other thing,
the playoffs always come down to the 24th or 25th man, or 26th man, right? I mean, they always come down to some guy that nobody expected to do anything makes a defensive play, or gets a base hit, or Brett Myers works a walk, or Cody F. and Ross, comes and shows up and does something, right? That's how the playoffs work. You can tell how old I am by references.
You're right. So let's kind of wrap this up. Series prediction. Who wins how many games? We'll go to you first, metssuck.
So I was thinking about this earlier, and this series feels like the Super Bowl to me, where everybody was picking the Dodgers. Everybody said the Dodgers were better, or the Chiefs were better, right? Everybody's picking the Dodgers now. I think I see a lot of Dodger talk, and I just feel like we're gonna just kick the shit out of them. Frankly, I think it's a 4-game series, just because I think they're gonna steal one, and they'll steal game 3, because I'm not confident with what Rob's going to do in Game 3. Frankly, from a pitching standpoint, I think we win in 4. Maybe I'm setting myself up for a huge crushing disappointment on my vacation next week, but I think we win in 4. And I think it's not going to be. I think we're going to get once. I think we're going to get these starters out of the game. We're going to get to the bullpen, and we're going to just run away with it.
What about USJ?
I'm saying Phillies in 5.
I am also going to say Phillies in 5. I know in the episode I did, with Alec, just a couple days ago, I said Phillies in 4. But the Dodgers have, a better roster than I think I was giving them credit for at the time. So after this exercise, I think it is going to have to come down to Game 5. But, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the winner of this series went on to win the World Series. This is too good of a matchup for the NLDS, quite frankly.
It is way too good for the NLDS.
Yep.
One thing that does scare me is the Phillies, potentially having to, do wraparound innings with guys, 4 out, 5 out appearances out of the bullpen when they were very clearly trying to avoid that in the regular season. I am so worried that could blow back in their face. I don't know if you had an opinion on that. That was like my final take.
It depends on who it is. I'm not worried about Duran. He seems to be chomping at the bit to do wraparound innings. Everybody else I'm probably worried about.
It's pretty much where I'm at on that one. Yeah.
Yep.
USJ.
Yep.
Cool. Well, anything else that you all wanted to bring up before we wrapped up for the day?
No, I hit everything I wanted to talk about.
Good Philly. Go Phillies.
Go Phils.
Go Phils. We'll be back, just a couple days. We'll be back after the game tomorrow, actually. It's kind of crazy that it's tomorrow all of a sudden, but it is. We'll have an episode react to it up tomorrow night on your feeds, and then every game thereafter. So thank you both for joining. Cool. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the podcast channel of our Discord server. You can always find the link to that in the show notes. And like I said, we will talk to you real soon. Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Go Phils.